welcome everyone to the Triple Threat Podcast. This is episode number 3 coming at you. My name is Alex Vaughan, and with me are...
Matt Vaughan.
And Will Vaughan. I was wondering who was going to go first there. It's like a game of chicken.
We have to get that figured out.
No, we don't. It's part of the appeal. It's why people listen.
Pauses are all. That's all people are talking about.
Have we mentioned before where we're all coming from?
No.
Ish.
I don't think so.
Ish.
Yeah, we mentioned ish. We've let people guess from our accents. We want them to guess where we're all from. All recording from. We're all from the same place, really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm coming to you live and in person from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
How's the weather out there?
It's terrible. No, I mean it's been very fluctuating this week, very much fluctuating. 15 degrees,
out there.
0 degrees. Yeah. So we got most of the snow away, which I'm grateful for. But it is Saskatoon. So once the snow goes away, then there's tornado threats. So that's all fun.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Those tornadoes are real jerks, man. Stop being... They're bullies. They're just threatening people all the time.
Yeah, why are you guys...
They're just a bunch of blowhards. That was a joke for me.
Will, you've mentioned a little bit before where you're coming from.
Coming to you live from Vancouver, BC, here on the west coast of Canada. It's currently just after 9 a.m. Weather here is nice. It was kind of crap the last week. Oh, it's supposed to rain today. Oh, never mind. Screw that. The weather sucks. I hate it.
Can you just always assume it's supposed to rain, though?
Basically. Basically.
And I am coming to you live, or not, live for now, but you won't be listening to this live, from Halifax. My apartment number is...
Yeah. Phone number 902 yeah.
Social insurance number,
Credit card.
We'll just put that right in the description.
Yeah, we'll just throw that in.
Yeah. Throw that in the description. If you want to call any of us personally, please dial.
But anytime you're not satisfied with your free Triple Threat podcast, you give us a call, and there's very little we're going to do.
We shouldn't have an email address for questions and comments. We should just have a hotline. Triple Threat Podcast hotline. People can call in and leave a voicemail, leave a message.
Some podcasts do that. Some actually have that.
I know, but they're called professionals.
Well, I mean, they also advertise it, and then no one ever calls. So it's a little bit depressing. Yeah,
that's true. That's very true. And we should have an email address. We have a Twitter account.
We actually do have an email address.
Used yet? We do have an email address. This is breaking news, folks. Here on the Triple Threat Podcast. Unreal.
Guys, we have an email address.
What is it?
Here we go. I had to look it up because it's not like it's something. It is Triple Threat Pod, so no cast. TripleThreatPod@gmail.com.
Oh, we managed to get a Gmail address. Oh.
Hey, we did.
Oh man, that does not come cheap, folks.
Yeah, we had to pay for that. So, and the password for that account is okay. Maybe I'll actually hold back on that. But yeah, so there's that. So if you want to email us, I don't know why you would. You could you're at this point, you're probably just friends with one of us, so you could just talk to us.
I'm gonna guess Mom will be the first one to send us an email. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you're just daring her.
I didn't like the language you use on the podcast. I don't like you doing that. Okay.
Mom, is that you?
Yeah, Mom, is that you?
Mom. A while. Very sorry about that.
Well, you'll see her soon enough, Maddie.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
With the move back there. So yeah. That's it. TripleThreatPod@gmail.com. If you have any questions about the show, if you have any complaints, if you don't like what we're going to talk about today, which is what, Alex? I'll ask you.
We were talking about the National Hockey League playoffs. And since Star Wars, I don't know what's it called, Star Wars Day, May the 4th.
It's the official Star Wars holiday.
Okay.
Unofficial, but official for me.
May the 4th is right around the corner, so we'll be talking Star Wars.
May the 4th, because May the Force be with you, if said with a lisp. Sounds like that
only
day.
Episode 2, though.
Only episode 2. We'll only be discussing the expanded universe novels. I'll talk about that.
Oh, no.
Oh, please don't talk about that very long.
The death of Chewbacca. It still haunts me to this day. Spoiler alert. It happened like 10 years ago, yeah.
Oh, man.
He got hit by a moon.
He got hit by a moon. I wish that was fake. It's very true.
Well, it's
by a moon.
Because of JJ. Well, Chewbacca, they were evacuating a planet, and Chewbacca stayed behind, and he died because the moon was colliding with the planet. It was very sad. It was very controversial when it happened, of course. But I want to save all this conversation for later, if I could. Yeah, we'll I think. Oh gosh, what are we? A week into the playoffs right now?
A little bit more than that.
Yeah, like a week and a half. 11 days, we'll say.
A little bit more than a weekend there. We've had 8 series, and one of them is already done.
Actually, sorry, I got to cut in real quick. Look forward to Star Wars trivia later in this episode.
Oh yes, that. Yeah, that's Star Wars part trivia, of the Star Wars thing.
Weighted to the knowledge of Star Wars between Will and Alex. So it'll be fun. Anyway, back to the playoffs.
Who's texting? Put your phone on silent. You're podcasting, for God's sake.
Maybe look at it.
Okay, we've been texting because Will's audio was bad, and then it got good, so now it's okay.
Oh, what happened?
Oh,
you sounded like you were podcasting from a pop can before.
Really?
A big 8 pop can too, not like a Coke or Pepsi. They got good audio. That was.
I was trying to give myself a Darth Vader sound effect.
Ah.
Yeah, see, that's what you guys. Yeah, you guys thought it sucked. I thought it was awesome. I worked really hard on that. I don't know, guys, why you had to change that. This is terrible. I wanted to sound like, like Darth Getzlaff, apparently.
Darth Getzlaff.
That's what I call it. You've seen his little jaw protector that he's got going on. That's what it kind of reminds me.
I saw the picture of him with the stitches in his. Where was his lip? But
he looks so brutal. He's giving an interview. He's like, yeah, face is all messed up, but we go out there and do our thing.
He's not an attractive man to begin with, Ryan Getzlaff.
Well, he's not been blessed cutically, we'll say, by the good Lord.
Follically.
Yeah.
Not like follically, right?
Follically, yes. Cutically would be his fingernails, right?
Yeah.
which I don't know. I haven't checked.
I heard his fingernails are glorious. But
hey, Getz, how your fingernails after the game? How you doing?
Well, I've actually heard of a lot of players kind of complaining that if you fight him and he drops the gloves, he'll scratch. He goes for Tiger Claw.
Yeah.
I
think that's more Ovechkin style.
That's true.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I had a friend once that I thought got manicures, but I didn't have the guts to ask him if he did or not. It's just I saw a couple times his fingernails looked immaculate, and I thought, you know what? That's probably that's money. Someone has paid money for that.
Really?
Yeah, it's something on display. I mean, if a girl changes her hair color, and I was going to ask her if she changed her hair color, but I was a little nervous, so I didn't bother. You always say you notice it. Hey, you did something with your hair.
I'm not flirting with this guy though.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I guess that would kind of have something to do with it.
It is called a manicure, though, so that would not be totally inappropriate.
Well, then what are pedicures for, man? Are they for pedophiles? It's terrible.
Oh, no.
Not
think that through.
Yeah. Speaking of Ovechkin, I read now, top headline on NHL.com. Capitals fired Adam Oates.
Wow.
Adam Oates is gone
after...
and George McPhee.
And George McPhee is gone after a disappointing season in Washington. Here in Vancouver, I got to watch 2 games this season at Rogers Arena, and there were I enjoyed both of them a lot. One was against the Capitals early in the season when Vancouver looked really good, and we won that game, and I was really excited. And then later in the season, in January, we faced the Penguins, and we lost that game. And when we started looking really bad. And there you go. The Penguins are in the playoffs, Capitals are out, and Canucks are out too. So I guess that kind of had a bearing on what would happen as far as playoff implications go. The star of that Penguins game was none other than hometown boy, Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia native Sidney Crosby, scoring the tying goal and then sending the game to overtime, and then scoring the game winner in a shootout. So that kid, he was the star that night. So far in the playoffs, not so much. Yeah, he's having a hard time in this weird series with Columbus, where every team led 3-1, lost 4-3 in every single game. In all 4 games. It's the first time, I think, ever that a playoff series had the losing team at one point leading by 2 goals each game.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Isn't that bizarre? Well, hey, man, it's an NHL hockey for you. That's why they play the games.
Terrible couple of goals that Pittsburgh led up to.
Flowers stinks.
That was bad.
He's stinking this time. He's got to, take his Wheaties like Jonathan Quick finally did, and really get his head in the game. He's since they won the Cup, he's been just wildly inconsistent. I
honestly would say, and this is what I was thinking even prior. This was the game before that I think Pittsburgh ended up winning. I was thinking if they get eliminated this series, you should get rid of him and even Bilesma.
If
people aren't playing well, you gotta. I mean, that's a lot of years you have a lot of good players in their prime there that aren't living up to at least the playoff portion of what they should be accomplishing.
That's true.
Fleury has been really good the regular season, and you need to have that strong push for the regular season into the playoffs. I think he is inconsistent in the playoffs, but I just have a hard time wanting to cut him loose after the playoffs, just because, for the part of the year that, you're guaranteed to play those 82 games, he has been more above average, which is, for goaltenders, actually pretty good because they can be really, really fickle.
Yeah, well, they can make or break a season. Well, I mean,
anyone that gets Bilesma after the Penguins would just embarrass the Penguins. That's just the reality of it. He's too good. Well,
same with AV when Vancouver cut AV loose after a couple of good regular seasons, but bad playoff performances. The regular season in Vancouver, eventually no one really cared about it because we were in such a light division. It was us, Colorado, Minnesota, Calgary, and Edmonton, and we would win that by a landslide for the last couple of years. And our regular season was like, yeah, we'll make the playoffs, but once we get to the playoffs, then we'll blow it because we stink. And it's true. We actually, since we lost in the Stanley Cup final, we got eliminated in the first round every year.
Yeah,
including a very embarrassing sweep by the Sharks last year. So I can kind of understand how Pittsburgh feels right now. They got a great team, and their goalie, unfortunately, is blowing it in the worst possible time of year to blow it. I mean, goalie?
I mean, it's not like it's uncommon. I mean, last year was completely replaced for the entire stretch of the playoffs by Thomas Vaughan.
Yeah, and Vokes was out this season with what?
He had a blood clot. Is what I want to say. Something pretty.
His hip, I think.
Serious.
I was going to say it's it's kind of an uncommon hockey injury.
Yeah,
is what he had.
Not even an injury so much as a health problem.
A health problem, yeah. You got to be a goalie like Carey Price, and his team's moving on. Where he, you look at that last game against the Lightning. I think that the Habs were up was it 3-0, and then the Lightning,
something like that.
Yeah, and then the Lightning tied it. And the Habs score in the last minute, so that's a playoff team right there.
Habs just came through.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Carey Price a lot. He was fun to watch those games, just because there's as someone who's a pretty strong Penguins fan, watching a goalie and being completely relaxed every time the other team comes down the ice is weird almost. Because with Carey Price, it was fine.
He's ice. He's got ice veins. He's got that right
absolutely.
now.
Did you guys
he's
see?
Totally in the zone this season too.
Very much so. I don't know if you saw it. There was, I think it was Game 3 or Game 4. I really can't remember, but it was the game where Montreal scored in the first 11 seconds, I want to say. And it was because PK Subban was back in his zone, and he flipped the puck up like a huge saucer pass right to the blue line where Rene Bourque was, and they scored. They tried that, I want to say, at least 4 more times in that game.
Sniper Rene Bourque.
That exact play.
Was it the Latvia? Is that the Latvia play? Is that what they tried?
A little bit. It's less gimmicky than that, but
It's good to see the rematch between Carey Price and Christos Godlevskis too.
I actually kind of feel bad for Godlevskis because
he was
great.
No, it's a different. You ain't Lafayette anymore, boy.
Yeah, it's almost like the third
backup. Though I mean, he kept him in the game. Once it was 3-0, he kept him in until that last. The last goal wasn't great, but
I thought he gave up a goal like pretty much shortly after he went in, though, didn't he?
Not this last game. It was 3.
Okay, I'm thinking of game
3-1 when he went in, and then they were talking about him kind of bringing him back in the game.
Tim Thomas led in a nasty one last night after he was put in to replace Kari Lettinen.
Oh, really?
He let in a really ugly one.
He'll do that.
He's the age too, though.
It was interesting last night's game. The Ducks blew out the Stars with Ryan Getzlaf returning. One of the first plays of the game is Getzlaf turning it over to Canadian teammate Jamie Benn, and Jamie Benn scoring, making it 1-0 Dallas. And then, they tied it to tie it. And then I think right after that, Anaheim scores, makes it 2-1, kind of erases that little bit of momentum there. Anaheim's a dangerous looking team.
Well, the funny thing about that
Getzlaf is playing the way he's playing.
Yeah. As I was watching the first game, and it was like 4-0 in the first period, and I was like, good night, Dallas. And then they actually came back to make that one a more exciting game and won 1 or 2 in the series, did they not?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's 3-2 for Anaheim right now, or 2-2? I can't remember.
3-2 for Anaheim, yeah.
Yeah. So that series surprised me, and then the Chicago series, Chicago's down 2-0, and now they're up 3-2.
Yes, they are. Yeah, Chicago's. And they're a team that's built for the playoffs too.
Yeah,
they've been such a solid team. Yeah,
just like LA versus San Jose is a brutal matchup for both teams, or thought it was going to be. It's looking that way now. And then the St. Louis Chicago one is just a dirty first round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You look at San Jose and LA. They're just tearing each other apart. And San Jose looks like do they play in tonight? Yeah, they are. Looks like they
3-1.
Yeah, it looks like they could just kind of bull them over. Tonight we got Detroit Boston. That's a great series. It's just good to see these two teams meeting in the playoffs. And then we got Columbus, Pittsburgh, Minnesota and Colorado, and Los Angeles and San Jose. So today we could potentially see Boston and San Jose move on and see what Colorado, see if they can get their guns firing again against Minnesota. I was really surprised that their offense has been pretty quiet lately.
14 shots in the last game total. So
14?
Yep.
I was going to say it had to have been Minnesota's defense because I don't think Darcy Kemper's keeping all those things out.
No, exactly. I mean, you have the team that's down to basically their third string goalie in a sense, kind of like Tampa Bay was at the end of that series, and you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's true. And our boy Nate, he started pretty strong. 3 assists in his first game, including the game winner, and a pretty sweet goal for his first playoff goal.
Yeah, 7 points in 2 games sounds good. 7 points in 4 games also sounds good, but
it's the same stat line as Getzlaf. Yeah. He's got 7 points in 7 points in 5 games.
So Nathan MacKinnon. He is especially near and dear to this podcast. For what reason, guys?
I don't know. I've never met him before.
Okay, that's fine.
He's our grandfather's brother's grandson.
Second cousin.
Yeah, but I was correct in my
you're not wrong.
My lineage. But the easiest way to say it is second cousin. Yeah, second cousin who I've never met.
Nope.
But I'm sure he's a nice guy. Yeah. 3 Eastern. Oh. Nice. There's a game at noon here. Oh, that's sweet. Nice. It's all day hockey, man. It's great.
Yeah. So by the time this comes out, everyone can kind of decide whether or not we're totally wrong, or if we've been startlingly prescient in our prescient.
We should have made some series predictions, but it's kind of late now with a couple of 3-1, 3-2 leads.
Yeah.
Let's just go with the tied series then. Who do you think is going to win Pittsburgh and Columbus, and who do you think is going to win Minnesota and the other team? Colorado.
Is that your pick, or is that a question?
Yep.
I think Pittsburgh can stop the bleeding. I think they can. This is make it or break it time for them. It really is.
Certainly.
Yeah. Okay. I picked Pittsburgh too because I don't want to stomach seeing Columbus win.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got to imagine if the Columbus Blue Jackets move on, then yeah, I think heads are going to roll in Pittsburgh. And there's another tied series too, New York and Philadelphia.
I know I was going to forget one of them.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm cheating. I'm looking at them on the website right now.
Okay.
Colorado can win 2 more games against the goaltending and team of Minnesota. I think that's fairly safe to say.
Yeah, it's tough, but I think that series will go 7. I'd like to see Colorado move on if P-Walk can do his best to get his guns firing again.
Yep. I'm going to say, just to play devil's advocate in one of them, I'm going to say Columbus, just because I've lost almost all faith in Pittsburgh. Just to keep it interesting. I will say I think Colorado can turn that series, around since they've lost 2 straight, and I'll go with the Rangers because I hate Philly, and I still have a place in my heart for Alain Vigneault. I like to see him do well.
Yeah,
I also hope Philadelphia loses.
Yeah, I think if AV, it'd be interesting to see how far AV can take the Rangers.
Yeah.
It'd be, and I'm with you guys. I still like and respect the guy, and it's good to see him doing well. It looks like the way that things are going in Vancouver looks like it was like one of those breakups where you move on and then she gets really super fat. And Vancouver's just a fat chick right now.
Okay.
Alain Vigneault, also our second cousin.
Yes.
Well, are they going to stick with Torts, do you think? Or are they going to wait to bring in a new GM? Or
I think the Torts experiment was they'll chalk that up to a loss.
Wow. Okay.
I think they'll chalk it up to a loss. I mean, you just look at the facts this season in Vancouver. 2 things changed basically: their coach and their division. The realignment kind of wasn't so good for them because then now they have all these games against these LA. San Jose, Anaheim, and this got beat up by these teams.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense geographically. I think the realignment helps everyone in that case, kind of keeping people within their time zones. But in terms of quality of teams, it's devastating for them.
Yeah. And they were already on their way down. So they're on their way down, and there's people who are ready to beat them up anyway. So
yeah.
Terrible consequence. Terrible situation.
Yeah, it's rough for them. So whatever they're. Onward and upward, I say. Onward and upward.
As Tobias Funke would say.
Yeah. Onward and upward.
Who do you see going for the cup since we can't predict it with the whole series, but who do you see playing for the cup finals, East and West?
That's a good one. Well, I'll let you lead that just because,
I'm going to say San Jose and Montreal.
Wow.
That's a bold statement.
I would love to see Montreal win the cup. That would be great. I
never thought I'd say it, but I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's partially...
Just stop the bleeding, man. Just get a Canadian team to win the cup for frig's sake.
Well, it's like my old roommate and I. He was a Canadiens fan, and I was a Patriots-Liverpool fan, and we both kind of turned each other on to our own teams.
There you go.
That was the way. He was a Man U fan. It was disgusting. I would go, only because it was the team he knew. He's like, yeah, Man U, they're a team, so go them.
Yeah.
I will say, I like Will's prediction, so I'm going to have to go against it. I'll say Colorado, and I'll say Boston will find their way back. Colorado-Boston Stanley Cup.
Colorado-Boston Stanley Cup final. Very interesting.
From the West, I'm saying Anaheim. And from the East, okay, this is something I'm much less sure about, but I guess I'm also going to go Habs with that. I'm going to go Montreal.
There you go.
Like
Montreal, Anaheim.
A strong original 6 bias for the Stanley Cup final, I would say.
I avoided picking Montreal out of superstition.
No one picking Chicago. Interesting. Well,
Chicago. What do they got?
Jonathan Taves back. Who cares?
I hope St. Louis wins that one, if only for John Hamm's sake.
Is he a Blues fan?
I know he's there, but
he's often there.
Okay.
Just devastating.
It's Vaughan series.
Yeah, I was gonna say the John Hamm Vince Vaughn series. Yeah, and then LA San Jose is like Neil Young against I don't know
which one's Neil Young.
Vince Neil.
Is Neil Young a Kings fan?
He's a Sharks fan.
Oh, a Sharks fan?
Yeah. Neil Young, he lives out in Northern California, so he's a big Sharks fan.
Should be a Jets fan, should he not?
I think he is. Yeah. Depends on where. Well, I remember seeing him in San Jose before. I think before the Jets came back, he was like standing up in a box, wearing an old jersey.
Let's go, Marlowe.
Yeah. Long may you score. Who else? What other celebrity fans of teams? I don't know any celebrity fans. Oh, Bill Burr's a huge. Dennis Leary is a huge Bruins fan.
But are they at the games? Like, Bill Burr's not really like, oh, here's Bill Burr at the game.
They would show Dennis Leary, I would think.
Yeah, I don't like Dennis Leary.
One of my favorite celebrities who's a fan of a team is Washington Capitals. On the glass, often, Pat Sajak.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody found there's even a hockey card out there that's like a player, and you can see the host of Wheel of Fortune.
Yes,
that's hilarious. In Washington, is that where they shoot it?
They must do like 10 Wheel of Fortunes in a day, and then he goes back to Washington.
Let's get him on the podcast. See what he thinks about this Adam Oates fire, and call him up.
Yeah, call him up. And anyone got a line to Pat Sajak?
I don't.
I know the band. I know the band back in the day. I know the band Pantera was a big Dallas. They're big Dallas Stars fans. They recorded a song for them. CM Punk, big Chicago guy, big Blackhawks fan. He's got a Duncan Keith jersey that he likes to wear quite often. No celebrities in Columbus. But they got a good hot crowd out there, though. I will say that
they do. Yeah, they do.
Great. One thing about seeing Columbus win was that I saw Columbus win their first playoff game in Columbus, I believe, and the city was the fans were crazy.
Yeah,
it was pretty nice.
Losing their mind.
Yeah.
Montreal, a bunch of a lot of Canadian celebrities.
Aragorn, Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen, big Habs fan.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay Baruchel, star of How I Met Your Dragon. Yeah, that's what it's called.
How I Met Your Dragon. That's the one where the dragon tamer.
She's out of my league, dragon.
Yeah, she's out of my league, dragon. This is the end.
The end.
Dragon.
The LA. Do we not mention somebody from the Kings? I guess most celebrities would be a Kings fan.
David Beckham. Tom Hanks. Is a fun one to look up YouTube videos of.
Hey, Tom Hanks, a big CFL fan too.
That's right. He was there for the Hamilton. The Hamilton.
Is he actually a CFL fan, or is he just at the game?
I don't know why he was in Regina for that game, but he was.
I think it's because of Martin Short. Martin Short was a big Ticats fan, and he was like, I don't know if they filmed something together or what it was, but he got him turned on to the Ticats. So I think it was one of those situations where he was like, "Hey, you want to go see the Ticats play a championship game in a crazy loud city in the cold?" And I think Tom Hanks said. Sure.
Everyone knows Tom Hanks is originally from North Battleford, Saskatchewan.
That's true. He's a good Canadian boy. Nobody mentions that.
No, I know.
I know Snoop Dogg's a big.
It's not true. That's why it's not mentioned.
Snoop Dogg's a big Ducks fan. He's a big fan of the Ducks. It's very true. Well, I don't know.
Not too many celebrity fans of non-coastal teams.
That's true.
Who else just outside the league? I know. Oh gosh, E from Entourage,
Islanders, right?
Fan.
Yeah. He did that documentary, that 30 for 30 about the Islanders owner, a big fraud.
Yeah, he was at the draft one year, actually on stage with the owner and ownership group, doing something for the draft, which was surprising to me.
Oh, that's got to be a painful existence, though, to be a fan of that team. That's got to be so hard.
They're gonna be so cool next year in Brooklyn with probably a black and white alternate. That's gonna be sweet.
Oh, hopefully anything to replace the current alternate that they wear.
It's dead. That one's
dead. That one's dead. I still have my Islanders the fisherman jersey. I still have that hanging in my closet. Oh my gosh. Well, I have it. It's without the logo.
Why do you have that again?
Because I bought it at Cleve's for $10, and I thought it looked cool.
Me, when I was like, I had stupid jerseys when I was. I have that.
You had the Eddie George jersey
that they don't wear anymore.
Which one?
They're alternate thirds. I got it on. It was like a ridiculous sale, and I text you guys and I said, "Why is this such a ridiculous sale?" And it has Crosby's name on the back and everything. But I guess they don't wear the dark blue alternates.
They're bad luck. They're bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck.
Yeah,
They've lost
but
every time in them.
The good thing with that is I can wear it and it's vintage, so it's not completely out of style.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm a big fan of mine. I wore mine the other day.
Yeah.
Walking around with that thing. Yeah, I had to walk around. I like it. It's a cool. It's a neat look. It sure is.
They're the absolute worst jerseys to duplicate as just shirts.
Yes, that's true.
Like you look like it did. You look like I feel like Kevin Smith every time I'm walking around in a freaking hockey.
Well, because Kevin Smith wears a double XL hockey jersey and he fills it out.
You think it's a double XL?
Maybe. Would you say triple?
I would go a little bit north of double XL.
Let's call him up. See what he says.
I remember Alex when we were watching
Kevin Smith, also a second cousin.
Yes, when we were watching the NBA playoffs last year. I think it was Miami and Indiana. Yep. And you were like, well, I know what size jersey LeBron wears because he had it in his mouth, and it says, what? It was a double XL extra long or something?
Yeah, something like that. Something ridiculous.
Well, he's a gigantic person. But we'll talk about the NBA playoffs later.
We'll say just one mention of the NBA. The Charlotte Heat series, the Bobcats and the Heat. I actually saw both those teams playing Saskatchewan in Toronto last year, so that was kind of random for me. And Charlotte was terrible. I don't know what happened. They really turned things around.
And same with the Raptors, man. It's good to see the Raptors in the playoffs and Toronto get behind a playoff team.
Charlotte's
I watched a little
by Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's true.
I watched a little bit of the Toronto game yesterday, and they were down 15. They got back within 2. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. I was watching something on my laptop, and I had the game on in the background. I was like, oh, they're down 15, and I'll just leave it on. Yeah. And then they just kept scoring, and I was like, I got to turn this off now and watch the game.
Then they blew it. Then they blew it. Then they proceeded to blow it. But, good on them for making it. Well, gosh, I don't even know who's in. You know what? I'm going to look it up, and we're going to just, for a couple guys who don't watch the NBA all that much, Matthew and myself, and I think, Alex, the most basketball I watched was when you were visiting last year. When you watched those Heat
by
games.
Default, I watched the most basketball out of this podcast.
Yes.
I said, I went to Toronto specifically for that game, but I am a LeBron James fan, so.
Wonder, do you think it's going to be, so Alex, do you think it's just going to be Miami and San Antonio again? Is that a likely final?
Well, there's a lot of surprising stuff going on right now, whereas Oklahoma City's down 2-1 to Memphis, which is surprising. And there's another one.
Actually, with the Memphis OKC series, my brother-in-law mentioned on Twitter, he just said, wouldn't this be much better if it was Seattle versus Vancouver?
Yeah.
And the answer to that is a resounding yes.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
But Seattle's trying to get both an NHL team and a NBA team.
And they deserve it. They're a great sports town. I mean, you see what they've done for the Seahawks and the Sounders, and it's too bad that the Sonics left when they did.
Drew Carey, big Seattle Sounders fan.
Is he really?
I couldn't make that up.
Could be a more obscure league, team, or celebrity.
The celebrity from
Some
Cleveland
random soccer fans in the world.
Robert Patrick is a big Kansas City Sporting fan.
Again, couldn't make it up if you tried.
Sorry, I 100% did make that up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, of course.
I thought that was... You almost had me, man.
Oh. He wears a silver morph suit to all the games and just walks around.
Call out to John. My favorite player. Call out to John. Yeah, well, there you go. Some bonus NBA coverage.
Yeah.
On the Triple Threat podcast.
We're talking about...
If you want a real finals, I'll say Miami and... I would love to see the Clippers. That'd be a ridiculous series, so I'll say...
Lob City.
For a fanboy.
Yeah, good.
We're talking about the wars between the stars or NBA and NHL fans.
Nice.
And now
segue. I like that.
And now we're gonna talk about
don't pull your shoulder out of its socket from reaching too hard there, pal. That's just great.
I feel like great segues are just kind of are something that the listeners tune in for. How can they bring it back?
That's what we're known for, the Triple Threat podcast. Yes, this coming Sunday, May the 4th, be with you, is the unofficial Star Wars holiday. It's on a Sunday this year, so everybody take the day off work, okay? Nobody going to the office that day. Everyone take the day off, sit down, and pour yourself a big glass of blue milk, and
and blue yourself. Don't let it curdle to the point where it becomes a shade of blue.
As to how it becomes blue, maybe you can ask Walter White about that. I don't know. But sit down with the trilogy, and the trilogy is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. There is only one, even though in a couple of years there will be technically 3 trilogies. What would that be called? 9 films, a nonology.
Nonology. I remember I saw the first time I ever saw anything more than a trilogy. I saw like an alien package, and it was like, it's the tetralogy.
No, the quadrilogy.
Did it say quadrilogy? Because I know there's one that was like the tetralogy. Yeah, quadrilogy.
Tetralogy.
Horrible.
It was totally made up word.
Alien movies, apparently.
So just a 9-sided polygon is called a nonagon, so it'd be a nonalogy.
An analogy. Wow,
Like
that's
that.
a horrible
An
name.
analogy?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, they did release the Star Wars Blu-rays a couple of years ago, and there's 6 films, but they didn't bother calling it a hextology. They just called it the Star Wars saga. I think they're trying to eliminate
That's a big
these.
mistake on their part.
They missed the boat on hextology.
Yes.
Hextology is the name of Ron Hextall's autobiography, isn't it?
I think it's his religion.
Yeah,
it's Hollywood celebrities.
It's where all goalies go to pray. And they form a semicircle around the crease, and they
There was
throw
a Paul Thomas Anderson movie last year called the Goaltender.
the goal.
That was the worst joke I've ever heard.
The goal
That was
master.
like Crease Master? I don't know. That's gonna work.
Crease master would have been better.
Crease Master. Okay. Okay. Let's reset then. 1, 2.
Call him
Crease
the,
master.
call him the shock master, who had his stormtrooper helmet. So there you go.
Stormtrooper. Will dropping a WCW reference from 20 years ago.
Yeah, but bringing it back to Star Wars, man.
Yes.
It's the segues, man. The segues we're known for.
So we wanted to talk about kind of our experience of Star Wars from in kind of the beginning. So Will,
Shoot. I mean,
how were you introduced to it? What is your?
well, I think we were all introduced to it around the same time back in the day. Our uncle, he would have all these movies that he recorded off TV on these old VHS. Kids, what these things are called are tapes. They're VHS tapes. You put it in a VCR. And you can steal television programs and put it onto this tape, and then keep this big blocky thing in your, entertainment system. So he had all these Star Wars movies, and he would show it to us, and he'd show it. He just put one on, and we'd be kind of like, "Oh, it's kind of cool." And I don't know why, but in '97, when the special edition came out, the cover of the paper had a guy wearing a Darth Vader mask holding a Monopoly box. And I was like, Star Wars, it's like Star Wars is coming back or something like that. And I was like, cool, Star Wars is my favorite thing. And I have no idea why, but I just decided it was. And the first Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters was Return of the Jedi. Because they released a special edition in January. It was Star Wars. In February, it was Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and in March, it was Return of the Jedi, which I think, Alex, came out on your birthday or a week after. I remember you got an Imperial shuttle for your birthday though that year.
Yeah. Which I don't remember, so I'm glad you do. I'm surprised Return of the Jedi is the first one you saw, because the first one I saw, I remember specifically, was Empire.
You probably went with friends though.
I went with Jonathan Morris. I had a bag of Starburst.
There you go. I remember the man and the candy. The film, not so much. But it was Return of the Jedi. I know. I'm terrible for reading things. Look, don't ask me what order I read Harry Potter in. I think it was like 4, 2, 3, 1, 5, 6, 7.
Are you serious?
Razor serious, man.
Why on earth would you ever do that?
Because I hate sequences.
I just can't imagine, just being like, oh.
I dislike order. I'm an anarchist at heart.
Don't like continuity.
Don't like continuity. Yeah.
You wanted any evidence that Will is literally a crazy human being? There it is.
Every day I have lunch, dinner, breakfast. That's the order. I eat my meals.
Now, I
Big
noticed
cup
you
of
only
coffee at
mentioned
night.
6 books that you read, right?
No, he ended with the 7th one.
Okay.
I ended with 7. It's 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
So you missed one.
There's an 8th one. No, this is an 8th movie.
Movies, so there has to be 8 books. Doesn't make sense either way.
No, that's right.
Okay. Well, tell that to Peter Jackson.
Did we all go see Return of the Jedi together?
No.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
That does ring a bell for me because, Will, if you saw Return of the Jedi in theater, that's the only special edition I saw in theater.
Yep.
And
I think I watched it with a friend of mine, though. I think I might have watched it with my buddy Matt. I don't remember, but I don't think I saw it with you guys. I think I saw the movie. I remember seeing the movie and coming home, and it was like Alex's birthday party or something.
Oh, cool. Thanks for missing my birthday party, man. One thing.
I came home. What I said was I came home,
your 10th too,
and it was Alex's birthday party. It's the greatest day of my life. When Alex turned 10. It was a momentous occasion.
I would have turned 10.
So in some ways, the special edition is it's not. Some people are very upset by the change in the special edition, but
that's largely our introduction.
Yeah, that's hard not to.
Our introduction.
I still don't own the original trilogy because I want the original movies on Blu-ray. I don't think I'm ever going to get them.
No, you won't because they can't. They made something up. It's like, oh yeah, we can't transfer. Can't get the transfer. It will cost too much money to transfer.
Can I get 97 editions, or is that not possible anymore?
Just on DVD, and even then,
I don't. Basically, I don't want.
No, because there's a
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, there's a Blu-ray edition, and that's like there's a Blu-ray edition, and that's what you're stuck with now is because they had. They had Star Wars, the original release, and then the special edition in '97, and then the DVD release in 2004, and then the Blu-ray release in 2011, 12, which had every version of that from '97 to the DVD to the new Blu-ray has a different Jabba the Hutt talking to Han Solo in a very unnecessary scene where Han basically says the exact same thing to Greedo. And then Jabba shows up and he's like, I'm going to confront you myself, which is your first glimpse of Boba Fett in that scene where he just kind of stands there, doesn't say anything. But that's total fan service.
Yeah. There's even a part where he walks by the camera and then kind of like looks around and he's the only person on the camera.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look. Yeah.
Because they definitely didn't shoot that back in the day because Boba Fett debuted in a cartoon, I think, along with the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I have, by the way, the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special, which is the biggest. Nothing they can do will be worse than that. It's the biggest black eye on the saga by a long shot.
I would disagree because I don't think enough people have seen that to be a bigger black eye than the 3 movies that came out between 1999 and 2005.
But the bottom line is those 3 movies were incredibly commercially successful. The holiday special was not commercially successful. Actually, maybe it was. Well, yeah, but it was a big deal. It was on CBS, and I think I guess
CBS
TV shows
in 1978. Gosh, they probably had like 1 trillion viewers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Maybe it was commercially successful, but artistically, yeah, it fell really flat. But yeah, the thing is with Star Wars is you put those 2 words on any movie and it'll be successful. And that was the thing with the prequel trilogy. It's like, well, they're not the best films, but they still make a bootload of money.
I was watching most of episode 3 last night, just to kind of get in the mood to talk about it today.
Yeah.
And I was struck by how often this happens. There's a scene where there's action, and then there's a scene where people are talking. And it's usually 2 people. And it's Obi-Wan and Padme, or it's Padme and Anakin, and then there's action, and then a scene of talking in the same place. So it's this weird thing where it's like, man, there's a lot of just talking in this Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
it's like they're trying to they were like, there's too much talking in this movie, so let's have them go to about 6 different planets. Let's put a dragon dog in it.
Yeah, they got a ton of lightsaber battles in that, to the point where one character fights with 4 at one time.
Yeah, General Grievous, yeah. In a way that he never should lose because his method is perfect.
Yeah. I suppose his hubris is his downfall. It's a common thing in Star Wars where they, it's a very common, it's a common theme. Maybe it's a Joe Campbell theme, something like that. But, Yeah, the.
You mean like Joseph Campbell?
Yeah, Joe Campbell.
Like, I was like, is that a guy who did it? I was like, oh wait, no, Joseph Campbell.
Yeah. What other Joe Campbell would I be referring to?
Maybe you're talking about Joe Camel, the cigarette spokesperson who was a Camel.
Yeah, who is a merchant of death sticks.
Yeah. So, Will, out of 10, how big a fan are you of Star Wars?
A couple years ago, I'd say 11. But now it's like a good 8.
You're just an 8.
I think a lot of it's nostalgia, and a lot of it, like, I haven't obsessed over it like a lot of people have with this. They have the Clone Wars CGI series out, and I've seen a little bit of that. And they got this new Star Wars Rebel thing coming out. I'm excited for the new trilogy. I think they can't. I think J.J. Abrams is a competent guy to put in the. He did a lot of good stuff with Star Trek. He basically he made Star Trek into Star Wars, which I'm fine with, not being a Star Trek fan growing up. But you can't fall any further than the prequels,
right?
And the good thing about these new movies is that there'll be a story where you don't know the ending. These will be new stories.
Yeah.
The problem with the prequel trilogy inherently is that what's going to happen. You know that Obi-Wan's going to survive. You know that Padme won't. You know that Anakin will turn. It's just a matter of seeing how that happens. That was the really exciting part. I think when the Star Wars trilogy was out back in the day, it's just the old school way of doing movies. Here's a new movie. What's going to happen? We have no idea. The rebels probably will win, and Luke will probably triumph over evil in Return of the Jedi. But you have to stack the odds against the characters to the maximum degree to make that look as difficult as possible. Have them fight a new Death Star. Have Luke fight Darth Vader and the Emperor in the same room. Have this little band of rebels try to destroy this base. Give them insurmountable odds, and then give them a way to overcome them.
Yeah, Alex, what about you? What do you, out of 10? How big a Star Wars fan are you?
Oh, geez, 7, 6. I don't know. Like, what did Will say?
I'm an 8,
Will said an 8.
Oh, then I'm like
8,
a
you're like
3.
a 3. Yeah.
Okay,
If Will's an 8, I'm a 3, I can't even remember actually the last time I saw any of the original trilogy. So I'm just going to have to suck it up at some point and buy it, because I do really want to watch it. But there's a lot of other trilogies that I am a couple other trilogies I'm a much bigger fan of.
Like what?
Like the Hangover trilogy?
Nope. Hangover 3 was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
There you go.
Just off the top of my head, and this one may not count, but I'll say the Cornetto trilogy, which is the Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright, Nick Frost one.
Yeah. Okay. So,
the problem is they're different movies, but also the Lord of the Rings original trilogy as well. I'm a bigger fan of.
Yeah, it's a gooder. So, Cornetto trilogy, I love.
Yes.
I love all those films. I love those guys. But I would say we'll talk trilogies as in, maybe the Dark Knight trilogy, or a trilogy where one character is, kind of present throughout all 3 films, where it's one continual story, And
even the Iron Man trilogy, and you're right, the Dark Knight trilogy are probably like better than the Star Wars trilogies.
A very, very bold statement.
Maybe I'll rewatch. I haven't seen it in so long, and I'm so annoyed that I think the fact that Hayden Christensen is now at the end of the Empire Strike or the Return of the Jedi, that bothers me way more than it should.
So I could just picture you sitting there watching it and being like, going through Star Wars and Empire and 96% of the way through Return of the Jedi, and you're kind of like, oh, you know what? No, I think this is the one, man. I think this is. Oh my God, no! Hayden Christensen. Oh my God, this is a 0 out of 10 for me.
It is horrible that he's there.
My fanboy hate for changes is like a 12, but my like of the series is like apparently a 3 or a 4, because Will ruined it for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, George he just couldn't let a good thing. He couldn't let a good dog lie. I guess that's not an expression. That's fine.
Yeah. You don't let. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was supposed to be.
All right, Matt. So Will and I rated ours out of 10. You're going to rate yours out of 146.
Yes. Could we hear that, please?
that's not that hard, I guess. I would probably be 112.
Okay. I'm trying to do the math in my head. It's not working. But that'll be like
I would say
7.
it's about a 7, yeah.
Oh, thank God. That's exactly where I wanted to roll. Yeah, because I would say that if Will is Star Wars love infinity, like if he is the top out level, as far as like a normal human being who could function and have a life and not only think about Star Wars, I think that he's kind of a pretty good threshold.
Yeah.
And then I would say,
you've ever said to me.
you know what? I'm so glad that I could. And then I would say I'm probably a step down from that. I've spent very little time in the extended universe, but I do. I made my wife watch the Star Wars movies without falling asleep.
I made my wife
you or her
stay up.
She always fell asleep, so I was like, no. Like you might actually like these.
I give her a sharp jab in the ribs every time.
What's that?
Give her the sharp jab in the ribs every time her eyelids get a little heavy.
Yeah, prop her up a little bit more. So she liked Empire Strikes Back. And she was a little befuddled by my disappointment by Hayden Christensen at the end of the movie. But then we watched a lot of episode 3 last night, and she was shocked by how wooden he is. At one point, Hayden Christensen says this: "I'm overwhelmed." That's the tone. That's how that line was delivered. It's as if like George Lucas was on set and he was saying, "Hayden, like, I bet you can't have less emotion in this scene than the last one. I bet
you're
you
on, buddy.
You cannot have less emotion."
Yeah.
And then every time he's just pulling bills out of his pocket.
That they didn't notice till it was too late.
Look, and the thing about Jake Lloyd, watch the episode 1 documentary. It's one of my favorite things actually. Is the on the episode 1 DVD, they do an hour-long documentary about the making of it, and it's kind of tragic in a way because there's so much anticipation because this is a new Star Wars movie, and they're making this thing and. They do this part where Spielberg visits the set and he's walking around and they come up to a battle droid and battle droids and Spielberg's like, okay, these are supposed to be the new stormtroopers. Okay. And George is like, yeah, this is the new stormtrooper right here. Here he is. And his like arm falls off and they try to like put it back on. They can't figure it out and like, screw it. Let's move on. This is the new stormtrooper. It's a robot skeleton. Where's James Cameron when you need him? That's a guy who can design a robot skeleton. But they do the screen test for Anakin, and it's Jake Lloyd and this other kid. And Jake Lloyd, as bad as he is head and shoulders above this other kid. And if you want to watch a depressing YouTube video, and I know everybody does, Jake Lloyd being interviewed.
No.
Now.
Can't do it.
Jake Lloyd being interviewed now out of college, and he is cursed. Anakin was not a blessing for him. It was a curse. It totally was. He should have stuck with Smuckers.
The fanboy hate.
It's aggressive. That's why
he's good and Jingle All the Way.
He's good. Actually, I had a dream last night that I met, and Alex, you were there. I had a dream last night. I met Arnold Schwarzenegger in a gym. There you go. I'm glad I got to mention that. My subconscious. And actually, I think in that dream too, I had a dream that I missed recording this podcast. By the way,
come on, man.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my subconscious self.
You had a dream that dreamed about missing this podcast.
Yeah. I had a dream.
That's the worst version of Inception I've ever heard.
Yeah. I know.
So I'm going to pitch this to you guys right now, and we can become the co-showrunners for this show. It is kind of like Entourage, but it is Jake Lloyd and Haley Joel Osment, and they live together. It's fiction. They
did that with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. They called it the two Coreys.
Yeah, well, let's call this
darker
just
show now that Corey Haim passed away.
Yikes.
I don't know if ours could be more depressing than that. This would be real. Sorry, not real. This would be fictionalized.
Yeah, so
going to auditions and getting nothing, and they run into Edward Furlong and they get nothing, and he's like just really depressing, and I don't know. Most episodes would end with them like contemplating life and kind of wondering where they are.
Now, the two Coreys, was that fictionalized, or was that just like a reality show?
It was fictionalized. One of the girls I went to VFS with was in an episode.
Uh-huh.
And she was supposed to be like, this is Teresa. We're going on a date with her. Yeah. It's just, most reality TV is complete BS. It's more scripted than scripted television. I hate it. It's the worst blight on entertainment in history, bar none.
So I'll ask you the question again. Was it a reality show or was it a script? Because I know. Let's go with the assumption that
it was supposed to be
it
was supposed to be a reality show, but it was scripted.
Right, but it was, advertised as a reality show.
It wasn't like the two Coreys live in this giant loft with this big, wall, which is the studio audience. It's like, hey, Corey. It's like that kind of sitcom.
Oh, look, it's Jaleel White, everybody.
Yeah, and he did do that. I will say, I call myself an 8 out of 10 Star Wars fan because I just came from Fan Expo last week, and I saw some 11 out of 10s there, man.
Oh, yeah.
There's but I will say I was oddly starstruck by R2-D2. There's just a guy with a remote control R2-D2, and he's just zipping around, bleeping around, and I was like, "Ooh, there he is."
That's crazy, though. That's understandable, I think.
Yeah, and the picture I have currently on my Instagram account, huge fan of that. I was so happy to be.
If we want to follow you on Instagram, Will, what do we have to?
At the same as my Twitter, it's at William C. Vaughan. But no, we can't say that till the end.
I know. Sorry, yeah.
We're ruining the structure of this show.
Mom keeps getting mad at me for not liking her Instagram pictures, and I have to keep telling her I don't have it. Nothing personal against your pictures. I don't possess an Instagram account.
They're very expensive.
Yes.
I understand why you don't want to make the investment. I paid thousands of dollars for mine.
You
have to draw the line somewhere, and I drew the line at Instagram.
I drew the line at Snapchat. That's where I drew the line.
I have Snapchat, actually.
Oh, see? Oh, there is no line for you. There is no line.
It is. It's Instagram.
Good point.
So let's put the Star Wars knowledge to the test here, guys. What do you say? Some Star Wars trivia?
Yeah, it's the 8 versus the 3. Let's do it.
The hottie versus the naughty. Let's do this thing.
You'd be the naughty, by the way, in this case, Alex.
Yes, I understand. We all get some Paris Hilton film reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of great films.
So these are weighted. So I intentionally made questions that I thought Alex would have as good a chance of answering as Will would. These are questions that are designed for Alex. They have been tailored for Will. These things are all very much, their DNA has been tinkered with in such a way that these guys are going to get exactly what they deserve. So there's 10 questions. Each question is worth 1 point. There is no tiebreaker. I just expect one of you to win.
Okay.
Or maybe if it's tied at the end, I'll let each of you just try to convince me that one of you.
And wait, if Alex can't answer one, does it get passed on to me?
No,
like we did with the wrestling.
Okay, so if Will doesn't answer his, can I take a shot at him?
You can still take shots.
So that's only fair if I get to take a shot at his.
It won't count. Okay, so we'll just say that and it won't count.
I'm going to lose my mind.
All right, guys, here we go. Alex.
Really bad.
In Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
I already don't know it.
What color is Mace Windu's lightsaber?
Ooh, okay. I know this one. Because Mace Windu is played by... God, I hope I don't get this wrong, because I think I know it, but I don't want to get it wrong. I'm going to say purple.
It is purple, that's right.
Okay. Yes, because Samuel L. Jackson's favorite color is purple, and that's what color his lightsaber is, because he plays Mace Windu.
I love that you're like, okay, I know this guy's favorite color.
I was afraid I had the character wrong, basically. I was like,
I thought you were going to say Lawrence Fishburne.
I know. Well.
So, Will, in Return of the Jedi, what is the name of the female rebel leader who briefs our heroes?
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma is correct.
Are you kidding me?
What, do you think you could have got that one?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. This is exactly as I want. So it's tied at 1.
One of my favorite Family Guy jokes that they did on the Return of the Jedi episode was, it's the only other female in the galaxy. I don't like her.
Yeah.
It is true. She's like the only other female character in the original trilogy.
Yes.
Besides Jabba's slaves.
You can assume that all the aliens whose gender you don't know are women, and maybe you can feel better about watching Star Wars.
Oh, wait, no, but there's also the woman at the Rebel base in Hoth who fires ion control. I forgot about her. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, and Aunt Beru.
Aunt Beru, that's right. In Empire Strikes Back, Alex, what Yeti-like creature attacks Luke on Hoth?
Okay. I know what it's not. I'm going to say Wampa?
Wampa is correct.
Yeah, I was like,
Shocking.
it's not a tauntaun. I think Hoth and tauntaun go hand in hand.
That's true.
Let me work these things out. I'm 2 for 2. I'm proud right now.
You should be. Will.
Just screaming at their computers.
In Revenge of the Sith, what is the name of the ship on which General Grievous has Senator Palpatine held hostage? No, I'm sorry, Chancellor Palpatine.
No.
By the way.
Do they say it?
Oh, this is not just the movies, Will.
Okay, yes. So I need to know what
no offense, but it really doesn't matter if they
what
say
the
it.
toy is called. Ah, gosh. I'm going to guess the Axiom, but I know that's wrong. The Axiom's the ship in WALL-E.
Oh, there you go. It is the Invisible Hand.
Okay. You're going to give me a chance to get that one, but I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Alex. Yeah, sorry. I'll let you guess next.
Invisible Hand. Okay.
Here we go. It's all right. We still got like 10 questions left. This is great. Well, I guess 20.
10 questions left?
Well, there's 10 questions and you each get one of them. Sorry. 20 questions you each get.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. There's lots of questions. It's okay.
There's 1,000 questions, and we each get 500.
I'm going to ask 1,000 questions. Okay, Alex. In A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 4, the first movie.
Yes.
Who kills? Pardon me. Who kills Luke's aunt and uncle?
Okay.
We want names, specific names here.
No, we don't want names.
Character names?
No, there's a group that kills them.
Oh.
That's
Really?
You can hear Will's sweat is audibly dripping on the microphone from his anxiety.
The Alliance or whatever it's called.
That's a final answer. It doesn't count.
Okay, that would be the Imperial Stormtroopers who actually killed them.
Oh!
Sorry,
the
Will,
only bad guys in the movie.
Yeah, sorry, Will. That was
No,
for you.
I wasn't sure if he was looking for, like... Yeah, okay.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You're still leading 2-1. So, Will.
Yes.
What is the name of the clone trooper who is first told to execute Order 66? This is from Revenge of the Sith as well.
Holy.
Is it Rex?
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It is Commander Cody.
Ah, dang it.
For whatever reason, one of these clones has the name of a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, he executes Order 66. Commander Cody. Ah, man. I got thrown off because I saw that.
Grow up and grown men have the name Cody.
Yeah, I mean, it's still...
Mad about that one.
Are you arguing
mad
whether or
about
not
that
boys named Cody grow up? Is that what the argument's about right now?
I'm
Usually
willing to say
die
that
around
no male named Cody has lived past the age of 14.
Okay, well.
They all die. I'm sure of it.
Tell that to Cody Rowe.
All right, moving on.
Alex, in Attack
Upset
of the
over here.
Clones, who says the final line of the movie, which is, "Begun the Clone War has"?
God, you're kidding me.
I'm nervous because there's so many episode 2.
Just a
quotes.
reminder, he
Just-
said...
I know, it's Yoda. I know.
Okay, that's correct.
The
Good
way
job.
you said it, it was obviously Yoda. I'm just saying I'm nervous when you say in episode 2, and I immediately clench my hiney.
He also says, "Around the survivors, a perimeter create," which is one of the worst lines ever of anything.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah. So, Will, Agent Kolar, Saesee Tiin, and who else joined Mace Windu when the Jedi went to arrest Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith? Agent Kolar, Saesee Tiin, and who else was with Mace Windu?
He's the green guy. Oh man, I can see his face.
It's a pretty stupid face.
No Googling.
I know. I got Wikipedia in front of me, but I'm not touching it. I swear. I swear on the family name.
Are you telling me
Kit
there's a
Fisto?
Star Wars?
Kit Fisto. That is correct.
Oh yes. I'm back, baby. I'm
Kit
back,
Fisto is-
He
baby.
admits to having Star Wars Wikipedia in front of him, and we're not going to. Okay, fine.
I'm just optimistic that he's not that low.
All right.
I'm
Alex,
What's the score? Is it 3-2?
it's 3-2 for you.
mad about that, Cody.
In The Empire Strikes Back, Lando Calrissian is the administrator of what? Or should I say where?
Okay, Cloud City.
Boom.
Okay.
That is correct.
Woo.
What's the other name of Cloud City, Alex? What's the proper name? Yeah, what's the name of the planet it orbits? Tell me that. Won't count unless you say that.
No.
You said the proper name. The proper name is Cloud City.
No,
what's the name of Cloud City?
Bespin.
Bespin's the planet it's floating around.
Yeah. Well,
no, it's not. That's not the name of the mining operation.
I need specific coordinates. I need him to know that parsecs are a measure of distance, not time.
So someone goes, "I'm on the moon." You go, "No, but what's it actually called?" And you go,
"It's called Endor."
Moon. And they go, "No, it's called Earth, you dummy."
So, Will, this is your question here coming up.
Okay.
In Shadows of the Empire, which is the extended universe book between Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi,
and the N64 video game,
and the N64 video game, and a comic book.
I remember that game.
And it's a pretty good game, actually.
That game's awesome.
Yeah. Who is the prince of the that we
Prince Shizor?
Shizor. Yeah, I was going to even go and say he's part of the Faline race of aliens, and Shizor is correct.
Prince Shizor, that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Alex
the book right
with 4,
now.
Will with 3. Alex, you're still in the lead.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So angry over here.
In Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, the Death Star blows up what planet?
Was that Will audibly hitting himself?
No, that was Matt.
I'm not going to get it, and I know it's Leia's home planet. I know all that, and it's not coming to me currently. No, here it is, and I swear to God I didn't Google this. Alderaan?
That's correct.
Yes.
Looking for love in Alderaan places.
Yep.
God will smite you for swearing on him and lying.
Will, what is the name?
I didn't look well, I promise.
What is the name of the cone-headed Jedi Master who sits on the Jedi Council in the prequels?
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Ki-Adi-Mundi. I'm going to give it to you. I believe it's Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Okay, well, protest.
Stick your protest up your clenched hiney.
Boy. This is a children's podcast, guys. Come on.
That's true. Sorry. Barney
Alex,
the dinosaur conversation coming up.
Tag.
Yeah.
First episode is clean. The second one, no tag at all.
Yeah, dirty.
Alex, in Return of the Jedi, the fuzzy little Ewoks live on the forest moon of what planet?
Did Will already say this? Endor.
He did already say it.
Way to go, Will.
But you still have to say it.
I said Endor.
Endor, yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Will, you get a planet question as well.
Oh, great.
Sebulba, the Doug pod racer, Doug being his species, is from what planet?
There's one planet I want to say it and know it's wrong. Yeah.
Sebulba.
Oh, man.
That's not what he sounds like.
He's a Doug from man. This is causing me to sweat. I'm going to increase my Star Wars fan number, by the way, to a 9 because this is bothering me this much.
I'll give you that.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Why do I get a time limit?
Because you've been thinking for like 20.
Okay, whatever. I'm going to say Malastare, but I know it's wrong.
You're not wrong. That is right.
Oh!
Really?
Yeah, baby, Malastare.
Because he knew he was wrong.
If you declare you know you're wrong, and then you say it.
Second throat.
Malastare. Why were you certain that Malastare was wrong, Will?
Yeah, I'll show you later. It's a visual clue.
Right. Well, maybe I got it wrong.
Is there a bad guy from something?
There's a bad guy from something. Yeah. There's a couple.
Yeah. So, question 8. Alex, in which movie do Anakin and Padme get married? In which movie?
I think he heard it.
I heard it.
I know. Well, I'm just rephrasing it so that...
You didn't rephrase.
Shut up, I heard it.
You repeated. You phrased it.
Sorry. Anakin and Padme get hitched in what major motion picture?
Get hitched. They're tying the knot.
It's not Hitch starring Will Smith.
Is that your...
No, it's not my answer.
Final answer. He got it wrong.
They just get spin off just for a marriage movie. That'd be great. There are 6 movies.
I
Star
know.
Wars
You can eliminate most of them.
I'll say, oh God. I'll say episode 3.
Oh, Will?
It's you and your episode 2 questions.
So yeah, that is episode 2. So Alex, sorry, you don't get the points for that one.
I can tell because I got the answer wrong.
Yeah, there it is. Will, in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, who does C-3PO say his former master is?
He says Master Antilles.
He says Captain Antilles, but that's the same person, so good job.
Yeah.
We are tied going into the last 2 questions. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Alex, in The Empire Strikes Back, who does Luke behead in the dark cave on Dagobah?
Say that again?
In Star Wars Episode 5. The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, yeah. I was actually not listening. Yeah. Darth Vader, but it turns out to be his face, so can we give that to me?
That's 100% right. Yeah,
okay.
But it's really confusing and stuff.
I was going to be like, it's kind of like a specter.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, you're technically not right.
That'd be crappy. Will, in Phantom Menace, and I guess most of the other prequels as well, Newt Gunray is what alien species?
Nemoidian.
That is correct. And what is he a racial stereotype of?
Asian.
What about, these are bonus questions. What about Watto?
He's supposed to be Jewish?
Yep, he's a very gross Jewish caricature.
And same with Jar Jar Binks is very offensive to most African Americans, I would imagine.
Yeah. Caribbean, for sure.
Caribbean, yeah.
You watch those movies now, you're like, this movie came out in the late 90s. It's weird that they did that.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah.
What is the first movie? This is chronologically, so. What is the first movie in which we see a green lightsaber?
Chronologically from when they're released?
Yeah, from when they're released. Sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't clear.
I see a green lightsaber. Oh. Okay. Empire Strikes Back?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's incorrect. It's Return of the Jedi.
And it was green because the first time you see him use it is on Jabba's sail barge on Tatooine, and they didn't want the lightsabers blue to fade into the sky. So it was actually supposed to be blue, I think, the whole time, and they made it green just for that.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know Joel McHale was in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Why are you looking that up?
No, it's on show,
wait. What the heck are you looking up right now, Alex? How come you're looking up stuff?
It's on Showcase.
On Showcase.
Yeah,
Oh,
he plays kind of a smarmy banker.
Yes, he does.
I mean, Joel McHale plays a smarmy whatever.
Oh, yeah, because she wants the free toaster. And he's like, actually, you have to open an account for that.
And then he leaves when Spider-Man leaves when Doc Octopus goes away. He's like, oh, what a hero.
Oh, the CGI in this is terrible.
It's very bad.
When he
Don't distract me with Spider-Man 2. Don't distract me with that.
The bank vault door off, and it was the worst CGI I've seen since, I don't know, Blade 1.
It's a 10-year-old movie.
We should watch old movies like from the last 10 years and be in awe of actually how poor the CGI is.
Yeah, really.
Most of them are. Matt, what's my question? I want to stay in the zone here. No distract.
Guys, we're all tied, and Will, you can win it with this one, but I don't think you will.
You jerk.
Well, I'm just being honest. Will, Salacious Crumb, Jabba's little jester friend in Return of the Jedi,
God,
is what kind of creature?
Driving nuts. I have no idea.
Salacious Crumb is a Kowakian monkey lizard.
Okay.
Which is kind of lazy because, yeah, he's obviously a monkey lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we're tied here, so we're gonna need. I'm gonna give you each 30 seconds to justify to me why you've won. So, Will, we're gonna start with you, and the timer starts now.
My questions were way effing harder. This guy has no effing clue what he's talking about. He didn't know that Anakin and Padme get married in Star Wars Episode 2 at the end when Padme takes his gold medal hand because he got his hand cut off by Count Dooku. He didn't know that Luke in Return of the Jedi had a green lightsaber, and that's the first time you see that because every lightsaber before Obi-Wan's was blue. The lightsaber that Anakin bestows upon Luke that Obi-Wan gives him is blue, and Darth Vader's is red. A very clear example.
Okay, that's it. Thank you. 30 seconds.
That was not 30 seconds.
I guarantee you 30 seconds. If anyone's listening to the podcast, as soon as I said that, flip back 30 seconds. It's exactly when it started. All right. So
there's a lot of trust issues here, by the way. I'm just going to throw this out. There's a lot of trust issues.
We're putting it on the internet.
Very troubling.
Three brothers who do not trust each other. Alex, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Starting now.
Yeah, Will deserves to win for sure.
Okay, you got 25 more seconds to talk about pretty much anything you like.
Alex, anything to plug?
Yeah, I'm going to the Mooseheads game tonight. Looking forward to that. So.
Oh, sweet. Oh, lucky. Yeah, I'm going to see that on ice video. That looks awesome.
I think they stopped doing that.
Well, they only did it one time.
Yeah,
Why?
for some reason. Because do you know how much what the electric bill was after that for the Metro Center? It was ridiculous.
What was it? If you can answer that question, you win the trivia.
The 30 seconds are over, so
Damn it.
you can't win.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say 5,600.
Yeah. So, Will, congratulations on winning Star Wars trivia. Good job.
Oh my gosh, that was a real.
As if there was any doubt.
And as if there's any doubt. I got like the grade 12 questions. You got the grade 4 questions. But Alex, I appreciate you acquiescing to me. It is the right choice. You have chosen wisely. You will not crumble up and die like in the end of Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. It's another good trilogy. I quite enjoyed...
not trilogy, Will.
Oh, yeah, the quadrilogy. I quite enjoyed discussing Star Wars today. It was very, very enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
Good to discuss. I was drinking from my Star Wars mug the whole time. I got a lot of... Tell you what, man, George Lucas signed that merchandising contract, sealed his fate for better. Not for worse.
Eh? Instead of the upfront, he's just like, how about I just get a little back on the merchandise? They're like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you idiot. You're not going to make any money.
So one thing I will point out to anybody listening is that this episode's theme was picked by Will. So of very little surprise he won the Star Wars trivia.
Tune in next time for British Premiership trivia.
Oh, my God. I was going to suggest that. Can we do Premier League trivia? That would be so much better.
When I was auditioning for Drafted last year, they had like the trivia, and it was like, who plays at Old Trafford? And I got that wrong. So there you go, Alex.
Oh my God!
I know you can shake your head at that.
For listeners,
oh
obviously
my God.
I know. See, there you go.
Let's play at Old Trafford.
This is your nightmare. The Star Wars trivia was my nightmare. It's all it's totally above board now.
All the same thing.
It's all the same thing.
Any answer there on the Old Trafford? Or...
Oh, for me?
Well, you gonna tell the listeners?
Oh, I don't want to say it because it's such a horrible team. But as Man United plays at Old Trafford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I quite enjoy this.
Chelsea plays at Stamford Bridge. Liverpool plays at Anfield.
May the 4th, I'll be spending with my buddies. I got a friend of mine. He's got a projector with the Blu-ray setup. So we're gonna, he had the idea. He wanted to do a Star Wars marathon, and hey, I'm all for that. So the Sunday, May the 4th, I'll be spending it enjoying my favorite films.
Yeah, it appears that my May the 4th is wide open. So listeners, if any of you are looking for plans or anything like that,
anyone in the Saskatoon area.
Probably just going to be reading a book.
You be reading Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn?
I was thinking about Truce at Baccarat.
Oh, the Truce at Baccarat, yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I said that wrong.
Yeah, there you go. When are we going to get to ask you trivia, Matt? By the way, good questions, I will say.
Thank you.
Last two trivias, I think you didn't get we didn't acknowledge it last time.
No, they're great. Yeah, they're fantastic questions.
But it was good. It was fairly weighted. I'm only saying that because I won, but it was great, fairly weighted, well asked. I guess at some point I got to prepare trivia of some kind.
I'll prepare trivia for something as well.
All right, that's cool. I'm cool with ceding the position for a week or two. Absolutely.
I think there'll be Canadian banking laws. That'll be my trivia.
That would be the Bank of Canada.
Yeah,
moral laws would be great, but all right.
Yeah, GI. Do you need a GIC? That'll be up next on the
Not even podcast. A proper question.
Good.
Will, where can we find you on the internet? I mean, I accidentally plugged Instagram too early, but
on the internet, I'm usually in front of my computer. On Instagram and Twitter, it's the same thing. It's at William C. Vaughan, VAUGHAN.
Oh, and you are actually, this is important to mention, you appear in a Major Motion Pictures trailer that was released this week.
That's true. My buttock appears in the trailer for If I Stay, starring Chloe Grace Moretz, coming to theaters August something.
If you want to see the butt of one of the podcasters,
yeah,
go check that out on YouTube.
If you want to see me trying to be an EMT, I'm trying.
I mean, that's all acting is.
Oh, it's
trying to
just
be something.
Trying, yeah. It's just different degrees of success, really. I'm just a professional trier. I think that's actually, it used to be my Twitter bio. It says something else now.
That's what it says on John Cryer's business card. It says John Trier.
Really?
John Cryer, professional trier. Gosh.
Which is too bad because John Trier lives a very sad life because he's a professional crier. Actually, no, not like weeping tears. He's actually like, hear ye, yeah. He's that kind.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah, see, that's not so bad. Yeah.
I found out this week that John Cryer's net worth is $45 million. So
there you go. So sleep soundly, folks.
Alex, with that knowledge in mind, where can we find you on Twitter? Where can we find your thoughts?
I shut down Twitter. I'm just on GeoCities now. So if you want to check out GeoCities / Alex's Best, that's my website.
GeoCities.com /Hassa for all your HW news.
Evonics, so at Evonics. I don't know why you have to say at. Everyone knows there's an at in front of it.
Yeah.
Actually, Twitter's looking to get rid of the ads and the hashtags.
If I just search Evonics, I come up. I don't have to put an at in front of it. I'm like the first thing on there 100 times.
But you have 2 accounts though, don't you?
Well, one's a professional account for writing, so yeah, I do have that. But
this is a professional podcast, sir. We're a bunch of professionals.
Yeah, I should probably dust the old something off that something.
So yeah, that's fine. I'm at MP Vaughan on Twitter, at MP Vaughan,
and on Instagram, Matt.
I think I'm the same on Instagram.
Yeah.
Now I have it set up so that if you don't follow me on Instagram, I have a connection that will send my Instagram pictures to Twitter natively, so they come up in the feed, which I'm very happy with.
And so why do I need Instagram?
You don't need it. You follow me already. It's perfect.
How do you do that? I'll ask you about that later.
Yeah, sure. We can definitely talk about that later. So listeners, if you want to know the answer to that, you cannot do that. If you have been listening to this podcast not on iTunes, you can stop doing that because we are on iTunes.
Correct.
You just need to search for the Triple Threat Podcast or Triple Threat Podcast. We are one of the few that come up. You can
look for the gold. Look for the gold.
You got a nice gold logo. You can click on there. We're listed as authors and everything. This probably isn't that impressive to people who listen to podcasts, but for people that like podcasts, it's kind of neat to have such official status.
That's true, man. Hey, it feels good to be to feel important.
Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, that's us for the day. That's Triple Threat
Podcast. Yeah, next time. We don't know. Maybe we'll tweet it. Maybe we'll tweet what we're going to talk about next time. Maybe we should tweet. Maybe we should ask some questions from the Twitter sphere. Maybe that's not a terrible idea.
It's just going to come from us, but yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll figure something out. Yeah. I'll see you guys in our boardroom meeting next week when we discuss the Triple Threat Podcast's next episode.
Yeah.
It'll be a big one.
All right, folks. Thank you for listening.
Peace out.
Go Tex and drive.